What's up, YouTube? It's the console samurai with Grown Ups Gaming. And you may have heard about the huge legal battle going on right now between Apple and the FBI of the United States. Now, this isn't just a large news story. This isn't just trending news. This is a huge issue. This is an issue that could potentially affect users, millions of users, all over the world, in in all kinds of countries, regardless of the fact that the FBI is a U.S. federal agency. This could impact theoretically every country virtually. The whole issue is that the FBI went out to San Bernardino last year to investigate a shooting. And after the shooting and when they started the investigation, they made a lot of promises. They said they'd leave no stone unturned. Well, they came up with a roadblock when they found that the shooter's cell phone, iPhone actually, had a passcode on it. And until I was reading these articles, I didn't actually realize how tight Apple's security is. If you put in the wrong passcode 10 consecutive times, it doesn't lock the iPhone. It clears it out. It dumps all the information from the iPhone. Now, obviously this is a concern for the FBI because they need to get into the phone. They want access to the phone, and they can't just brute force the phone. Now, if you don't know what brute forcing is, that's where you plug it into either a device or piece of software that will run every possible combination of letters and numbers, or in this case, just numbers, to break the password. But if the user has a 6-digit passcode, there's a very good chance that the FBI is not going to get that password right on the first 10 tries, and there's no 11th try for the phone. So what the FBI has done is they've gone to Apple and they've asked, can you guys create a firmware update? Basically a firmware exploit to break into this phone and strip off the PIN code. That way we can get to the information. It won't be corrupted and we can continue our investigation. But Apple is not cooperating. Apple is not cooperating for a variety of reasons. One of them being the fact that they don't really want to create a security vulnerability on their own devices. Because even if they do it this one time, even if Apple does it this one time, well, that proves to all the hackers in the world that Apple has been lying about saying that it can't be done. The PIN can be circumvented, and they will stop at nothing to break into these phones, whether it's just to cause inconvenience or to steal your information or whatever. All the different kinds of hackers in the world, they all want to get into your phone for a different reason, or your computer or whatever. But this would prove to them that it's possible, and they won't stop until they get it. Now, Apple hasn't even said whether this is physically possible, which is probably smart because if these hackers find out that it can be done, or especially how it was done, they will get it done. Now, from a business perspective, I understand completely why they want to do that, because Apple would really hurt their brand if they did that. This is another reason they don't want to do it, because who's going to go with an iPhone if it's so easy to hack it? But those aren't the main reasons why they want to do it and why they're not cooperating. There's two main reasons why Apple is not cooperating. One of them being the Fourth Amendment, the illegal search and seizure one. Giving the government access to this one phone is fine. But how long are they going to push it? If the FBI finds out how it was done and perhaps can reverse engineer it, which is a possibility, one of the options that was given to Apple for their cooperation was that they do all the work. Just take the phone, bring it into your labs, basically hack the phone, give us access to it, and give it back. We'll take all the information. No problem. But what if the FBI finds out what was done? What if the FBI can reverse engineer what was done and now has the ability to do that very same thing to all of the iPhones? All the iPhones across America. And if they can do that, what's to stop them from doing it to all the phones, all the iPhones, period, across the world? So that is a huge concern. And it is a very good possibility if the FBI ever had the option to reverse engineer it, they would, and they would use that tool without a doubt. Now, the other reason why they're not, and it's just as important as the constitutionality one, is they don't want to set the precedent. No company has ever worked with the FBI in this way. And there's a huge difference between the FBI using forensic tools to break into devices and do their investigations. It's a completely different thing to have the company, the manufacturer, or the owner of the technology help them. That is a very different thing. And again, that does come back to what about, it's just one device right now, but what about next time? And yes, I know this is a slippery slope argument, and that's really difficult to really sell without sounding stupid. But what happens if Apple does it this one time? Is Apple going to be pressed next time? Next time there's an attack, or next time there's any reason that the FBI needs to get into somebody's Apple device, is it going to be a group of people, and then a larger group of people, and a larger and a larger and larger, until eventually the FBI wants access to every phone vendor or every phone manufacturer, every laptop, every console, every smart TV, everything that could possibly send information back? That is the reason why Apple is not cooperating with them. Now, the problem is that Apple has threatened a while ago when this first started that it could be considered obstruction of justice. But I don't really see that it's Apple's obligation to give them this technology to break into everything. They're not obstructing them from getting into this one phone. The FBI just needs to get a better way to do it. But tell me what you think. What do you think about this Apple versus FBI thing? I mean, the FBI is claiming the All Writs Act, which is very similar to the Patriot Act, where in the course of investigating a federal crime, they want access to everything, top to bottom. But either way, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Once again, I am the Console Samurai, and I'll see you around.